Hey guys. Sorry. How is everyone? Um, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm thinking about the story of. Sorry, guys. I'm thinking. That's me on my desktop on the big screen. Hey, sissy. Hey, William. William, long time no see. Lee, how are you? Hey, Cat. Sniper, how are you? Who else do we have? Um, Hi, Anna. I didn't see Jessica over at Cats. I hope she's doing okay this morning. Send her some prayers because we can always use them. You know what I mean? Even if it is an absolutely perfect and beautiful day wherever we are in the world. Just some prayers, knowing, a feeling that someone somewhere is thinking about them and just sending a little bit of love. That's the whole thing when I do the I love you messages every morning. Just had a realization that there are people somewhere who wake up and they never hear anyone say I love you. And maybe someone will stumble upon one little video that I do every day where I say that I love you. And know that, yes, I am specifically talking about them. So I love you, whoever might hear this. And to all that hear it. Praveen, welcome back, my friend. Boy, my cat's been a bit pesky this morning. So anyway, I was thinking about Bill and Helen. If you guys know, Bill and Helen were the scribe and recorder of A Course in Miracles. And A Course in Miracles was sparked. Cat says meow. Did I hear the cat? Uh, did the cat hear I love you? Hey. Hey. I'm talking to you. She's using the desk to pet herself. In the absence of me, it's a very vocal cat. Hey guys. So for those who don't know, Helen Suchman was the scribe of A Course in Miracles. She did not feel that she was a channeler. She felt that she was a receiver. I don't think she ever used the term channeling because she didn't go into a trance. She could stop the conversation whenever she wanted, and it was a conversation that asked her, listen, just listen. The original words from the Course was, this is the Course in Miracles, please take note. And she didn't know what to do. She was a professor of medical psychology at Columbia University, very prestigious. So she went to her mentor and her boss, Bill Thetford, they had a contentious relationship between them. And she said, I'm hearing a voice. And Bill said, so what's the voice telling you to do? And she said, take notes. What should I do? And Bill said very wisely, take notes. Let's see what the voice says. But this dates back before. Being head of the university, with Helen being older and secretly in love with Bill, who was closeted gay. Hey, Easy. There was a lot of contention, not just between them, but in the whole branch. At the time, 1965-ish, psychology, medical or otherwise, was treated as a lower science, especially at a medical institute. So again, there was a lot of backbiting, a lot of, in academia, everyone trying to get published before anyone else. One day, in sheer frustration, Bill said, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. We can't just continue backstabbing and bickering and fighting and nothing getting done. Has to be a better way. And Helen very uncharacteristically said, there is, and I'll help you find it. And that sparked a series of psychic events that led to A Course in Miracles. Here's the thing. This is why I'm talking about this. There has to be a better way for all of us. For me, for you, for the world, for our country, for every nation, for YouTube channels. It has to be a better way. What do you think the better way is? There's the question. Where was I? Where are you? Where were you guys? Hey, Shirley. I wanted to get to Easy's question. I don't think I've ever asked you this, Eric, but do you think Jesus was, but who do you think Jesus was? Like, what is his importance in your view? All right. Jesus. We can view Jesus as a historical figure that sparked a religious revolution, right? Christian or non-Christian. No one can deny that Christianity, more than anything else in the last 2 millennium, has shaped the way we think, whether Christian or non-Christian, across the world, for good or for bad. Jesus has nothing to do with the historical Jesus. The historical Jesus has nothing to do with Jesus, I guess is a better way of saying it. Jesus was a person who became so immersed in listening to the Holy Spirit, listening to the voice of God, there was nothing other than the Holy Spirit, which is why he was able to perform miracles. Jesus, represented as the Christ, the mystical, not mythical, but mystical figure, resides within all of us as that voice of the Holy Spirit. We can always, any single one of us can turn to that vision, that voice, that presence for guidance, for wisdom, and for absolute love. Any decision that we make, we can ask Jesus as represented by the Holy Spirit. Now, Jesus might not resonate with you, which is absolutely fine. You can turn to Krishna. You can turn to a tree. A tree without story, without telling a story about a tree other than its treeness, is pure Holy Spirit, is pure voice of God, pure beauty of in and of itself. So Christ represents, Jesus represents, that symbol of right thinking, the right mind that resides within all of us. So anytime we stop, we pause, and we ask, what should I do? Sincerely, to that right voice. Actually, I'm glad you asked that, Easy, because it goes right into what I wanted to talk about, which is there has to be a better way, right? Here's the better way, as represented by A Course in Miracles. And I can tie this into Buddhism, and I can tie it into yoga, I can tie it into Sufism, I can tie it into shamanism. We have two teachers. The ego, which is always going to choose division, separation, specialness, judgment. And we have the Holy Spirit, as represented in the Course by Jesus. But do you guys know the Cherokee story of the two wolves that reside within a man's heart? And the elder was talking to his grandchild, telling a story. Winter was traditional story time. Gathered in the lodge, around a fire, everyone drawn close. And the Cherokee elder was telling a story. You could hear it with any tribe. I just picked Cherokee. There were two wolves battling within the heart of man, every single one of us. And they're battling, literally battling to the death. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike, thanks for the ad, by the way. They're battling to the death. Constantly, continuously. And the child asked the elder, who's going to win? And the answer from the elder was, whichever one we feed. So are we feeding the ego or are we feeding spirit? So you can see this is a universal principle. It's not exclusive to A Course in Miracles. It's not exclusive to yoga or Buddhism. What is it for you? For those who feel more nature-based, what is the wolf? What is the that nature symbol that resides in you? Which one are you feeding? And as long as you are continuing to choose one more than the other, whichever one you use, you're keeping a separation and you're keeping the battle going. So if we continuously choose the path of love, continuously choose forgiveness, continuously choose to be kind rather than right. Your ego is always going to say, be right. Being right means that my opinion matters more than yours. My thoughts matter more than yours. My appearance matters more than yours. And even when we think that we're above all of that, or we're beyond all of that, even that is choosing to be right. Just that continuous choice of forgiveness, all we need. And I wrote about that this morning, and I might read that before I dive back into the conversation. I'm going to read two things very quickly, and then say hi, catch up with you guys, and then I got to go for my walk. I wrote about a happier life. It's less so now. My preference to be right has dwindled to a slight urge, and more than ever, my only true wish is to live a happier life of kindness, forgiving my every projection that seems to keep the world caught in an illusion of separation and fear. I am not, parentheses, much, concerned with the next shiny thought or belief that used to draw me into the chase towards awakening. I don't care about any big truth that promised me the ultimate reward of total liberation. It's forgiveness all the way, kindness, and it's a happier life by far. This is from my Facebook friend, yes, Kat, it's a Facebook friend, Keith Kavanaugh, who has a podcast on YouTube, Course in Miracles with Keith. If you're trying to become anything, a holy ego miracle worker, a do-gooder, you're dreaming, trapped in the matrix of the mind, dreaming useless absurdities about a dream. This is about unbecoming. Everything you think you are, all of which is fiction, to find out what you've been all along. That's the purification that's necessary first. And this is from lesson 121. Through him, you learn how to forgive the self you think you made, the self you think you made, and let it disappear. Thus you return your mind to him, who is yourself and who you can never sin. One more thing I want to add. I've been thinking a lot about the myth of Sisyphus, especially as presented by Camus. Anna's very familiar with this. To concern ourselves, Sisyphus was condemned to push a boulder up a hill, got to the top, said, phew, glad that's over with, and it rolled back down. In some myths, he's unaware that it's going to roll back down. In others, he's tormented by the fact that no matter what he does, it's always going to roll down again. That's life. We're all pushing a boulder uphill. It's always going to roll back down. We think that we've made some gains in taxes. We think we've made some gains in politics. We think we've made some gains in feeding starving children and homing the homeless, all kinds of stuff. We think we finally get an edge on this, right? And the boulder just comes back down. We are concerned with the boulder. However, Camus said that Sisyphus was able to reinterpret pushing the boulder up the hill, and he found not just happiness, he found joy in the pushing and in the rolling back down and in the pushing again. The boulder didn't change. Life didn't change, but his interpretation or reinterpretation of the boulder. That's what A Course in Miracles is asking us to do. That's what Buddhism is asking us to do. That's what yoga, that's what shamanism is asking us to do. To see through the illusion of a boulder, see through it. We'll continue to push that illusion because we're participants in life. But we see through it completely. And we find joy. And as we do that, the boulder transforms, becomes lighter, easier. We, as people, viewing the world as we do, will never ever end starvation. We will never find a way to home the homeless. We will never end the war on crime. We will never end war at all. How could we? Einstein said the problem will never be solved with the same mind that created it. We are always thinking with the same mind. We wake up every morning. How often do we think, let's do something to end starvation today? Maybe some of us, maybe all of us, I don't know. I'd love to fix it, but I don't think about it every day. I do think about what I eat and how it affects others every single day. It's the reason why my diet is the way it is. But I can change my diet, it's still not going to end the problem. But when I change my thoughts and I live my life according to those thoughts, now things are going to be fixed. But it takes a collective awakening, and a collective awakening starts with you. You're the spark to that greater fire. Hey, Mary. Hey, Reinhardt's. All right. Sorry, guys. Was a 15, almost 16-minute tangent. The Reinhardt's is here. Hey, Jack. Hey, Sissy. Me too. I've spent a long life feeding both of them. More often than not, especially my first 59 years, feeding the ego more than anything. I'd love to sit here and smile at you guys and say I'm done feeding the ego, but hey, we both know that that's not the case. However, I'm feeding it less and less and less and less. The key is not to starve the ego or to battle the ego. The key is to see through the ego, and that's why we forgive. Forgiveness isn't about letting anyone off the hook. It's not about anyone at all. That anyone that we think is a someone is an illusion. That's the key. To see through the illusory nature of sin, the illusory nature that someone ever did anything to us, and that there's an actual us that needs to be forgiven. And when we see that, we relax. The ego's not so important, not after all, because it's not who we are. Why concern yourself with an illusion? When you wake up from a nightmare, do you need to concern yourself about it any longer? You might think about it. You might even dwell upon it. But you know it's a dream. And you can think, man, what a disturbing dream. I'm really glad that's over. That's this life. That's the thoughts that we have. All right. Sepa says, I wanted to be this and I wanted to be that. Never really knowing what to be. So now I surrender to all and just be. Perfect. I like that, Sniper. Shirley says, Sniper, I still want to be a marine biologist. That would be a very noble career. Sisyphus found joy. Amazing to consider, isn't it? Hey, Chef Mary, do you have a link to drop? Shirley says, Yogi, Leo was talking about you last night and saying how much you helped him. I wanted to know. Well, thank you so much, Shirley. Thank you for letting me know. And I hope I run across Leo today. He generally goes live right about when I'm going to bed. I dislike, hey Norman, I dislike missing him. Norman Price, welcome back. Thank you again, Shirley. Hey, Elish, I just found you now. I had a awakening at the end of 2023. What are your thoughts on Judaism and Kabbalah? Real kindness-based question, I promise. I like both of them. But both of them are forms representing the formless. And we need form as long as we need form. We need those guideposts. I have, back in the early 2000s, literally from like 2000, 2004-ish, had a very strong urge to explore Kabbalah. It was Michael Berg, his brother Eric Berg, his father Rev Berg, actually a mother as well. They had a great organization teaching Kabbalah. But in the end, it's another form of magical thinking. Nothing wrong with magic as long as we know that magic is still of this world and will not transcend us of this world. What actually transcends us is seeing through the illusion. And magic can help us do that, but it never does it. It's just an aid, a tool. In the end, we only go through life with open arms. If we cling to anything, I love doing a little experiment often, especially early morning when it's still dark and the moon is out. Sun's not up yet, not even a hint, but the stars are bright, and I will put my hands up into the sky. First, clenched fist. And what can I hold with clenched fists? If I'm holding all my thoughts, all my beliefs, if I'm holding anything, resentments, justifications, beliefs, in clenched fist, I'm closed. If I go out, unclench my fist, the entire universe rushes to meet me, right here, palms of my hands. And then I notice, is there any place where my hands leave off and the universe begins? Is there any place where the universe leaves off and my hands begin? Where I start, where I stop? Or is it just a seamless expression of reality, a seamless expression of everything appearing, disappearing, appearing, disappearing? And ultimately, letting go of every single belief, it's just love. The allowance of things to be and how they are gently and generously caressed by the all-abiding reality of love itself. Mercy, speaking of love, Mercy says, so Eric, I love you. Good morning. Mercy, hello to you, and I love you, my friend. Come back, Chad. Well, where did Chad go? We can just bless Chad on his journey, wherever that might be. Sissy says, I've been practicing lucid dreaming. Was that you last night? For 15 years. Interesting enough, I can control my dreams and even the outcome in the astrals, but not in the polarized planet. That is interesting. I'd love to talk about that. Dreams in the yogic tradition are still an aspect of consciousness. Consciousness in the tradition of Course in Miracles is still an appearance within the illusion. Beyond the I am of consciousness is the absolute. That's the essence of non-duality. Elish. Elish is a beautiful name, by the way. Thank you for your answer, and thank you, Anna. Hey, Jamie. From Carolyn, England. Well, welcome from England. Hey, RW. Sorry I missed you when you came in. Sorry if I miss anyone coming in. Literally, I was off on a tangent. I don't know why. But 3 more minutes. Yeah, I don't know enough about politics of England, of Britain, of Great Britain, to offer any, even a cursory view. It says, thank you, I'm new to all of this. I was raised in a church that shamed all awakening and realized things, very weird stuff that hurts me a lot. I'm just searching now and trying to shed fear. So, first off, Relish, welcome. I can't promise you any answer at all. I can promise you an exploration into whatever you want to explore, and we'll go there together. And what I do know about fear is the more we choose love, the less we relate to fear. Fear might still be present, but what a great opportunity to choose other. Maybe the only choice that we have. And everyone gives us an opportunity. If I get offended by what you think or say or do, it's because I am afraid of what you think, say, or do. If I am afraid, then I am recognizing the absence of love. However, as it says in the Course in Miracles, that which is all-encompassing can have no absence, can have no opposite. So if I think I'm seeing the absence of love, It's a great reminder, and it serves me to choose love again, to choose reality, the reality of love, over and over and over again. As long as there's a choice to be made, choose love. Eventually, there'll be no choice to make. Let me know when you get there, though. Kat says, message retracted. It's an excellent point, Kat. Mercy says, Jamie. Simpa says, please be respectful in the chat. Mercy says, Cat and Jack, hi. So, hey, did I miss Selma? Was she here? Cat says, I can't help it. Squirrel took away the comment that my comment was in relation, so it's no longer relevant. Everything about Cat is relevant. Sissy says, the comments that keep getting deleted and retracted are pretty hilarious. I have not seen them. Mercy says, I love your t-shirt, Art. Thank you. This is from the Baltimore City Marathon. I don't remember what year. I ran it a handful of times. I love city marathons. I was an ultra runner, meaning I wanted to get back in the woods on the trails. I wanted my feet connected to the earth. So you might think running in a big city, but a city marathon, what a beautiful way to see the city, to get to know it. We ran through the Baltimore Zoo, and people would have animals out. You could run by and you could stop and you could pet. I love city marathons. Not as much as I love being on the trail, but for what they are, I like them. I used to run them for training. So I never really ran a fast marathon. I think my fastest was like 3 hours and 49 minutes or something. But it was a day after doing a hard 20+ mile trail run. And then we went out and we ran a marathon, 26.10. Get used to running on tired legs. Good training. Shirley says, I want Yogi to do my laundry. That man never has a wrinkle. All my wrinkles are in my forehead. All my wrinkles around the corners of my eyes. It's funny that you say, I want Yogi to do my laundry too. I actually hardly ever do laundry. I keep telling people, I'm level 5 vegan, which means that my clothes never smell. No matter how hard I work out, nothing ever. Level 5 vegan. Everything just dissipates into the ethers. My laundry is done by angels. As all that dissipates into the ethers, angels and gather. I say that, knowing full well that when that happens, the angels are holding up to the nose and going, "P.U. Why doesn't this guy ever do his own laundry?" I do my laundry, once every couple of weeks. I'm telling you too many secrets. Cat says, no. What do you know about? Level 5 vegan. I've told you this before, Cat. Sissy says, all my wrinkles are in my forehead as well. Deep expression lines. Yes. Hoping to do that today, Eric. Woods and mushroom searching. Oh, awesome. Hey, are you going to document it, Gaz? Did we get to see any of that? Norman says, yes. Cat says, squirrel, it's okay. She laughed to herself. All right. Always documented, brother. I'll be on the lookout for you, Gas. Let's see. Norman Price says, let's go with UK job market ideas. I wouldn't have a single one. We used to refer to them as my WTF lines. Wild Armor says, like to teach others about the species. Looking forward to that. Norman Price says, that's cool. I still get drawn a little bit into the political world. Getting drawn into it and believing in it is now two different things. No matter how I vote, no matter what I do, ultimately, it's going to make very little difference. However, on a relative level, your vote does count. But ultimately, you're still playing in the system. So everything that we do right now, whatever political party is in opposition of it, will eventually come into power and change things around again. And so the cycle continues. The only way out of any cycle, and we can view this as the boulder that we're pushing up the hill, our Sisyphusian epic struggle, or we can view it as the yogic and Buddhist Maya, illusory nature of the world, or the Vedic Lila, God's play. Ultimately, using an illusion within an illusion is still the illusion. What we need to do is use the illusion, which is the opportunity of forgiveness. Yep, voting is magic, for sure, Kat. But again, sometimes we use magic. This is what Kat's favorite teacher, Ramana Maharshi, would say. It's like having a thorn in your palm and taking another thorn out to use it, to take that thorn, to remove that thorn. However, you don't need to keep those thorns. Once you remove it, you throw them both away. Our purpose isn't to be the best students of A Course in Miracles. The purpose of A Course in Miracles is to teach us forgiveness, and then we proceed through life, forgiving the illusion. The forgiveness is a thorn. The stuff that needs to be forgiven is another thorn. We use forgiveness to take away that one thorn. We throw them both away. We're voting on magic. I vote in favor of magic. Voting in favor of magic just keeps us caught within the illusion, though. What we want to do is use magic. Use it to transcend it. Take that one thorn and remove the other thorn. I'd rather vote for the opportunity to feed every single person. But I know that even when we feed every single person, the system is still in place to keep people starving. What we want to do is transcend magic altogether. See through it. And then we have the ability to use it. Use it. But not serve it. And it says, use magic to transcend it. Yep. All right, guys. I'm late. I'm going to go out and take my walk. We got recycling that I have to take out. But we also hopefully have beavers and fox. Man, I saw a fox right off the bat. Almost right off the bat yesterday. I usually see or hear owls first. Saw a fox, got it on film. Then, on my way back, right at the edge of the pond, right when I was about to walk past the pond, a beaver emerged, covered in algae, and shook it off. It was like watching the magic eraser thing, where you shake it and the image disappears. So it came out all covered in algae, and then as it came out, the algae just sort of disappeared. But I did not see an owl. I didn't get my magic trinity that I was shooting for. Web says it would still have to exist first. Well, magic doesn't really exist, though, which is why I voted in favor of it, duly noted. None of it truly exists, and that's what we're trying to see through. The Yogi trifecta. I'm forever in search. It has not happened yet. It could today, though. It could today. All right. Norma said, hi, appreciate that. Here's my thought I vote in favor of let's go with UK job market ideas. I hope those who are in need of a job find a job, and I hope it pays well, and I hope they're happy. There you go. I hope that settles the issue, Norman. And if you have a better idea, awesome. Let's do something about it. Stephen says, go hunt a beaver and shoot with photos. Shoot with photons. That's the plan. Thank you, Sniper. All right, guys. Love you. I'll see you all later. Sis, I'm going to leave things up in the chat for a moment longer. If you have a link to drop. Sissy, if you have a link upcoming. Gaz, Mercy, if you're going live, if anyone has something they want to drop it in. All right. Love you guys. Welcome back, Praveen. Love you. Sissy says, we love you too, Yogi. Thank you so much. Big love from Gas. We get beaver love. Oh, I'm going to do a workout at 8:20. If anyone wants to hang out. Today is kettlebell interval day and squats. It's going to suck.